Well, 1 year since AmaZulu lost King Goodwill Zwelithini, his son and current leader of the nation, Misuzulu, has asked them to pray for the royal family. The man, largely accepted as the current king, even though he's yet to have a formal coronation, was speaking in KwaNongoma in northern KwaZulu-Natal. That's where a prayer service was held to mark the anniversary of his father's passing last March. The battle for leadership of AmaZulu recently played out in the High Court, where Prince Misuzulu's coronation was given the legal go-ahead. Our reporters Nkosikwana Duma and Linda Mnisi have been tracking the story, and we'll get to Linda in a moment. But first, let's go to Nkosikwana Duma to tell us more, Nkosikwana, about the incoming king's reflections on the day that his father succumbed to a short illness.
Well, Tembekile, Misuzulu Zwelithini, who has been referred to as king by his supporters at the Kangela Mangengane Royal Palace, the home of his late mother, he chose to take a much more optimistic outlook today, calling on his supporters to pray for the royal family, saying there will be light at the end. He said this in isiZulu. He said, this comes amid the public squabbles over the competition of the AmaZulu throne. We know that he is the de facto king because he was named in a will by his mother, Queen Manthombi, who had been appointed the regent of the Zulu nation in a contested will by the late AmaZulu King Goodwill Zwelithini. His supporters descended on his mother's home today, and they pledged their allegiance to him. And he says that, well, he has taken up the position. He understands that it comes with a great amount of responsibility and is ready to lead the nation. But for now, he's also asking for people to keep his father's legacy alive. He says that his father championed issues of unity, peace and harmony, and he says that he can only go forward on that path.
And Nkosikwana, someone whose support he's always been able to count on is Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. He's also been speaking today. How's he been reflecting on the anniversary?
Well, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was very consistent today in that he said that he will die, defending the position to belong to AmaZulu, to Misuzulu Zwelithini. He says that he went on a very, very long speech today detailing the history about how Misuzulu deserves to be in this position. He says that the Zulu nation actually gathered together to go and pay lobola for his mother, Queen Manthombi, the late Queen Manthombi, after she was actually spotted by the late King Goodwill Zwelithini. She says that he was always, Misuzulu, who was always destined to be the king of the Zulu nation, and today what he did was that he urged the relatives of Misuzulu to actually support him, saying that we will be backing you, talking to Misuzulu's siblings, but you also need to now play a great role in defending him, saying that this role is up to them, given of course his old age.
And Nkosikwana, you've also been able to get the thoughts of some of the royal family members around this tussle for power, or basically to succeed the late King Goodwill Zwelithini. How are they seeing that, especially going into a future where now the new leadership needs to shape the future of AmaZulu?
You're absolutely correct, Tembekile. The new king of AmaZulu has a lot of work to do, given the fact that our society is modernizing. I'm speaking to you from Ulundi right now, just about an hour away from Nongoma. I will tell you much that many people here are much more focused on the demands of our century, looking at jobs, trying to get their hands on the latest technology to enjoy the comforts that many others are doing. And should Misuzulu, of course, ascend to the throne and actually be coronated, it's going to have to be a king that exists in that kind of South Africa, a South Africa that is fast modernized. And his royal family members, we spoke to Prince Tulani Zulu earlier on, he's confident that Prince Misuzulu is up to the task, and he said that, well, the position of being king, of the Zulu king, has historically been contested, and he says that what we are seeing is actually quite normal, but he's also confident that the issue will be resolved. And just to put into context who Prince Tulani Zulu was, he played the role of being spokesperson of the king for a very long time, as well as his personal assistant. And I think that his words do have some credence. He was very emotional today, Prince Zulu as well, when he addressed members of the royal family, saying that many people have actually not paid focus to the fact that Prince Misuzulu Zwelithini was the de facto king of the Zulu nation, and his siblings last year suffered great blows in that they lost their father, and then a few weeks after they lost their mother, and what followed after that is a storm which we saw playing out the first time, of course, Sembegile, when the will of his mother was read out in public, where there was what appeared to be conflicts between Prince Mangosuthu and one Prince Sokozani Zulu. That fight has gone on to greater length, and it appears that it's going to go on for a long time, because what we are hearing from the other family members who held a parallel prayer marking the first anniversary of the late king's death is that, well, the family hasn't met. They haven't really sat down and actually appointed a monarch, whereas Prince Misuzulu Zwelithini has already been referred to as king. In fact, even the premier of KwaZulu-Natal yesterday was seen paying the salutation of Bayete Wena Wendlovu, which is a salutation that has been referred only to a Zulu king.